the rookie you will seek out to watch the most. Now, most of these rookies, you're going to have to find them on League Pass, right? They're not going to be on national TV a lot because they usually go to rat teams. So who are you looking forward to? Who are you planning on seeking out?
Oh, the one that I'm planning on watching that I'm very excited to see, they're going to be on national TV a lot. And they're going to be in the playoffs, and they're on a contender. Dillingham. I like you. I overreact to some preseason NBA action. I watched his debut against the Lakers, right? And I'm a casual college fan, right? Like I don't like really lock into college. I'm so locked into the NBA. 21 points in 25 minutes. In his second game, he had 9 assists. And he's not going to be asked to do too much, but I really feel like he could be a contributor on a contender. And I feel like when, that you're going to hear the horn sound and Anthony Edwards is going to come out and Dillingham is going to come in. He's going to be like, give me the ball. For the next 6 minutes, it's Dillingham time. And he's got floaters, threes, assists. Like he's just electric with the basketball. And he is the rookie by far that I'm most excited to see on the floor.
Will he get to play, though? Because now
much.
that after the DiVincenzo thing,
that's
I
the
wonder,
one thing that stands in the way.
Because that's going to be the DiVincenzo spot, right?
I don't think that when they drafted him, they knew DiVincenzo was coming.
Right.
But it's injuries happen, things happen. He'll get some time, and I think that he'll make the most of it. I'm overreacting to literally 1 hour on my couch, but he popped off the screen when he was on the floor in that game.
It's Reed Shepherd for me.
That's easy.
I searched him out of Kentucky.
That's easy.
I searched him out of Kentucky. Well, they're both the Kentucky guards, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's not like you took some unknown guy from Europe or something.
No.
Give me a break. I actually like the other guy at Minnesota, too, Terrence Shannon. I thought he was awesome in college. Jeez, wait, that's easy. Reed Shepherd. I choose Rob Dillingham, who's been famous for 10 years.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Who's like the face of overtime elite.
So literally the rookie that everyone is most curious about is right in your backyard. Like literally. So I went and visited Verno in his studio where he works. Verno's basically a Grizzly. He is a Grizzly. Like when you watch the games, he's the guy in the suit. He's the guy. He is the mascot. He works at the arena, and he pulls me over to a window, and he's like, "Look, there they are practicing." And you look through this window. You look down.
It's an adjacent building.
You are a Grizzly. You are a Memphis Grizzly. And I was watching this man play basketball live. Zach Edey is he's just in an undershirt shooting hook shots, getting coached up right there live in front of me.
And you can't miss him. He's 7'5". He's 7'5".
If you watch Grizzlies games, you'll see that Verno, who does the local coverage, he's always sweating because he has to take the mascot suit off. He's got to take the mascot suit off and then put the real suit on, so you don't always get the sweat out. But Zach Edey he's probably the most, I think it's fair to say he's the most talked about rookie. And he is truly the most anticipated rookie because there's a part of you that thinks he's going to change the game, bring back the post-up big man, or there's a part of you that's he's just Canadian Taco Fall.
Okay, so number one, the second part of that is the most offensive thing I've ever heard in my life. Number two.
I was poking the bear, as they say.
Anybody can go back and watch the highlights from the Indiana preseason game, which is, one of the greatest preseason performances in the history of man for a rookie. He was an unstoppable force of nature. Some have called him Maple Ming. He is 7'5" and was posting up, and they're throwing him the ball, and he's drop stepping and dunking on people. If the question is, do I think this is all going to work? Certainly, I have been most enthused by when the other team has a big guy, like a traditional big guy. I think he is a massive asset to have. Not one that always that pulls you far away from the basket, right? So, and there's a lot of those in the Western Conference.
Yes, and not only that is a lot of teams can play that way if they want to.
Correct. So I think he's going to be a massive asset for that. And I don't know how many post-ups he's going to get. I do think that him just being around the basket, I saw this with Steven Adams, I saw this with Jonas Valanciunas. Ja Morant, after you set that screen, he drives hard to the basket. And if anybody jumps with him, a lot of times he'll just dish it to the guy that's standing underneath the basket. And now you've got a guy that doesn't even have to jump to dunk. So I think he's going to get a lot of those. I think he's going to be a huge asset against teams that have big guys. And what was interesting about the Indiana game in the preseason was they actually brought him off the bench. And that is an interesting one to me that I'm going to monitor. What if he was used like that? So you're the fourth option. You're the fourth option on offense, right? You are not going to get as many shots as Desmond Bane or Ja Morant or Jaren Jackson Jr. You're probably going to get more shots than Marcus Smart, but maybe not. But at best, you're fourth or fifth option. But what if I ran you out there with the second unit and we did do the post-up crap? And there's nobody that they're bringing off the bench. And we let you cook. Like, you're going to go and get buckets. Almost in the... You remember when they used to do this with Enes Kanter? And Kanter would just go in and get, like... You remember he played in New York even. But, I mean, there were nights Kanter would get you friggin' 30 and 20.
Thunder
like
Kanter, Blazer
nights.
Kanter. Yeah, that Kanter, yeah.
Yeah. But before he was Fox News Kanter, he was a guy that you would bring off and could but he would heat up and get you buckets, and he would just dominate you. And so I do wonder if there's like a little throwback to that. I think he's going to be super useful to have as a big guy against other big guy teams. And I think that on the teams that play small ball, I'll be interested to see if they use him as an advantage and actually do post him up. People just don't post up in the NBA anymore. I know they did it in that preseason game. And you're still running everything to Ja Morant's going to be the guy. And so I do wonder if that's like an option where you will get to see him running out with second units too. And they kind of space out the floor a lot of times when they're playing against these small teams, but he comes off the bench and then they throw the ball into him and gets buckets.
I have a couple Edey thoughts. One is I always like it when there's a player that when he gets up off the bench and goes to the scorer's table, the other coach has to make a decision. And that's what Edey does for you. When he sees Edey, it's impossible not to see him because he's 8 feet tall, stand up and check in at the table. The other coach says, what am I going to do? What is my counter move? Do I go small and try to drag him out? Like it just forces him to make a decision, which is always a good thing to have. Another Edey thought is one thing I want everyone to remember is he is a rookie in the National Basketball Association. So whoever he is this year might not ultimately be what he is eventually. This will likely be his worst year professionally. So I'm reserving judgment on where he fits and whether or not he's a viable NBA player. And I know we're going to do predictions next week, but I have one prediction I want to get your thoughts on. At one point this season, I predict Ja Morant dunks on Zach Edey just to do it. He's just going to dunk on his own teammate just to do it. He's just going to dunk on Zach Edey's going to be turned around or something, and Josh is going to rise up and dunk on Zach Edey because he just can't help himself. That's going to happen at least once, maybe twice in the regular season this year.
And it's not going to be because Ja can't help himself. It's going to be because Edey's in the way.
In the way.
Yeah, he's just in the way. Bro, get out of the way. And if you're not going to get out of the way, then I'm just going to jump over you.
It is a legitimate question. Having a slow giant in the middle of the lane when you've got one of the most explosive drivers in the National Basketball Association seems like a bad match. I know you are a Grizzlies guy.
You set the high screen.
It seems like a bad match.
No, he's a great screen setter. That's the trick. All you need to do is be at the top of the key, set that screen. It doesn't take but 1 second for Morant to get to the basket, Jacoby. It's not like they're running in unison. He sets that high screen, and now it's off to the races.
Durant's going to be at the rim, and E's going to be at the foul line. Not exactly ready to catch a lob.
Dude, let me tell you something. If you just let Morant turn that corner, he's there.
Yeah.
He's there. So just set the screen, big fella.